a little bit of NXT, a little bit of chaos. From Mr. Robert Stone, we now know, as you already been told, I said this in my last TNA review, Ava's gone. She has not renewed her contract. The daughter of Mr. Rock, Mr. Dwayne Johnson himself, is no longer working there. She decided to not renew, and she's gone. So we got Mr. Robert Stone, the former Robbie E. of TNA, as the interim. I don't know who they're going to put in his place if he doesn't become the full general manager. I think at this point it's going to be a big question of who would they place in that position of the NXT general manager. I mean, Mr. Stone's done a pretty good job over the years. I've seen him when he's worked. But the big question is going to be, will he be the new general manager after a certain amount of time? I don't know. Okay. Let's put this in perspective right now. And I did a little bit of a side tangent. That's why you see the cut here. I realized I don't need to explain why my nose has been running so much. Sorry. But let me give it like this. When you look at the show, you see a lot here. Some of it good, some of it you don't care about, some of it is, will they finally pull the trigger? Let's open with Miss Parker versus Blake Monroe. Let's make this very clear. Am I interested in Blake Monroe? Yes. Am I interested in Miss Parker? Yes. Is this going to be a great feud? Let's make this very clear. The match itself was fine. It was not a bad match between Miss Parker and Blake. It's not like they have great chemistry, but they can get the job done. It's about the war they're now facing outside the ring as much as inside, because we got a double DQ. They were both outside the ring for so long, they could not get it done. And literally, Miss Parker wanted to teach Miss Blake Monroe, you want to play with a hood rat, you're going to get the hood rat. Because as you know, if you remember Miss Jada Parker when she was working with the Out the Mud, she made it very clear she is from the streets, she is from the hood. That means she's a damn hood rat, and she will show you exactly why hood rats. If you don't know what a hood rat is, it is a woman or a man, mostly women, mainly one. Why? If you are of the other persuasion, next to a woman, you are a hood rat. And the key of this is this. When you deal with a hood rat, you're dealing with someone who legitimately wants drama, wants chaos, does not care what trouble she gets into. She will destroy you. She will destroy you either with sex. She will destroy you by trying to mess up your name. She will destroy you by stealing all your money. She will destroy you, period. That is what a hood rat can do, and more. And most of it I don't remember anymore because I don't want to remember it. I blanked it out of my skull. But this is what a hood rat is, and that's what you got. Because as you saw throughout most of that fight after the match, she shoved she hip attacked a ref. She nut-shotted not just a security guard, she also shoved another one, and she punched out another one. And I think she even kicked the same one. She just whooped everybody's ass and made it very clear that she's out for war. She wants blood. So the question's going to be, how crazy is Blake Monroe going to be? Is she pulling out her devil again to be able to deal with this hood rat? Because if you got a devil and you got a hood rat, you're going to see total chaos between the 2 points. And do you want to get caught in the middle of it? That's going to be the big question for me personally, because yes, Blake can get things done in the ring, and she's not bad on the mic and doing her character. Jada Parker has improved greatly on, not about talking. She could always talk. It was about working the crowd, making sure she understood when it's time to crank it up or not. For me, she just didn't really have it completely. And then with the injury she's had, made it harder. Now the question's going to be, you got two women who are pretty good. Can they make a story out of it? And will this end up in the NXT Underground? I'm not saying that's the greatest thing, but it looks like it may go there. Next, the Speed Tournament match. You got Josh Briggs versus Eli. Let me give it to you like this. Do I like Eli Knight? I don't know yet. He just feels like another version of Devon Evans. And it counts on if he... I'm trying to be understanding here because high flyers, you now have Eli LeFlair. You now have him there as well. You also have the members of Vanity Project. All three of them could be considered high flyers. You got 5 high flyers now on the roster. And I don't see the difference between them. And you tell me, dude, you need to go watch these videos. I'm not doing that. As I've always told people, this is not about what the work they did before. That means jack shit. It counts on what the promotion will do with them. They can have a huge following. Look what happened with the very women that I'm going to talk about with Zaria. Look what happened to Julia. Julia has gotten nowhere. Look, they only pushed Stephanie Vaquer because she's from AAA. And because that AAA is a part of WWE now, they wanted to prove that they'll push one of their own. And she has been booked badly. I'm sorry, she has. There's no character with Stephanie, and there's no character with Julia. Nothing. They're just bodies. So I warned you guys, and now you see 5 guys on the roster where they feel blank. Until they get me more than just being able to fly around and maybe talk pretty well, they need to be able to hold a character. They need to be able to be charismatic. They need to be able to have psychology. So I'm just moving on from that. Eli, he won. But what does this really mean? I mean, yeah, you see LaFlair and him shaking hands, and then you see Jasper Troy destroying them afterward. But do you really care about the speed title? Jasper Troy has potential, but he really hasn't shown me much either other than just full aggression. Now, if you look at Keanu Carvin, no, what is his name? Carvin? Carver. So there you go. I'm forgetting his name. I'm getting Dixie Carter with Carvin mixed up. Keanu Carver. He is pure aggression, just like Jasper Troy. But in this situation, where you look at Jasper, because he's got his title, he's in that type of mold where he's a champion. He doesn't need to prove anything. You got Carver, who does. Now, is it better than Jasper when he first started before he got the title? It's on par. It's about equal. But the question's going to be, what are they going to do with him other than let him just destroy people? Because we had Jasper Troy do the same thing, and they just let him have the speed title where, yeah, he's destroying people, but has his character gotten better? Has he felt more important as the speed champion? No. So it's a big question what they're going to do with him, just like Jasper Troy. Are they going to finally let Jasper drop that title, make it just like the Cruiserweight title, and just like Cruiserweights, really like guys, use the damn title? I don't know. You guys tell me below. Next, we get the third match. We get Joe Henry versus a Jackson Drake. Let me give it to you like this. As the Evolve champion, I know nothing of him because I don't watch Evolve and I don't care about Evolve. There are way too many shows to keep track of when it comes to WWE. You got Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AAA. Then you have all of the podcasts. Then you have LFG. Then you have Untold, or I forgot what it's called, Untold. Then counting if they have anything else, like, there's too many shows to keep track of. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to keep track of him. He's another high flyer. Is he charismatic? Sure, he's charismatic. But do I care about him yet? No. While he's holding that Evolve title really doesn't mean much to me. Until he's doing more work on the main roster of NXT without that title, the question is going to be what they're going to book him as. Because he's just being booked as the most minor of champions other than the AAA champion. I'm sorry, that's the truth. That title is on par with the AAA championship title. I think that's the Mega Championship. That title means nothing. And that's not meant to be insulting to AAA. But remember, AAA doesn't exist anymore. No matter what anybody says. And this is not meant because I don't like Spanish. I don't like Lucha Libre. They got bought out by WWE. They're developmental. They're not an important promotion anymore. They're nothing. They're developmental. So when it comes to Drake, I don't feel anything until he drops that title and does whatever work they need to do on the main roster. Now, he wrestled pretty well. I'm not going to say he didn't. The Vanity Project tried to cover his ass and they got caught and they basically got ejected. Now, since I did not see last week, because I said it, I wasn't able to see last week, I was sick. I did find out that Joe Henry did win the NXT title, which I was surprised that he won it. I really thought they were going to put it right back on to, the very person after the match was over, because I didn't expect Joe Henry, who just won the title from the ladder match, I didn't see it, to drop it to Jackson Drake. And you guys tell me below, is that a tattoo on his side? Because it looks like it's a tattoo. Or is that from the ladder match? That big jig mark on his side? I don't know. But after it was over, guess who attacked him? Very one who could not get the title back. And that was my boy Ricky. Ricky was just mad. He could not get that damn title back. He felt humiliated. He whooped that ass. Okay. That was a good way to do it. But the question's going to be, what now? I know Ricky Saints is going to be doing something with Joe Henry, but how are they going to structure that part of this feud? How are they going to make it look good? Are they going to have in-ring segments? Are they going to have backstage segments? Are they going to have interviews? Are they just going to be more beatdowns? Are they both going to have singles matches where they're going to keep interfering with each other? That's the question. Next. Here's one I didn't care about. But then I understood why. Let me give it to you like this. When Dark State had their talk in the ring, making it very clear they want Tony D, they're going to whoop his ass, and everybody else that wants their titles, they ain't getting it because this is going to unlock. You got the Cullen coming out. You got Hank and Tank coming out. You got Out the Mud, which they're popular, which is good. Since they came back, they're popular. Hank and Tank is even more popular. You got the beatdowns, and then you see Tony D take out Cutler and take out Dion Lennox. Fine. Good to see that Dion Lennox was wiped. Cutler is now going to be going after him next week. The question's going to be, how far are they going to go with Tony D with this? It's a big question. I'm curious. Because they're putting a lot of stock in Tony D by himself, looking like he's Rocky Balboa, wearing this, and pretty much is ready to whoop anybody's ass. That's a big question of how far they're going to go. Next, before we get to the final match, let's go through everything else. Let me say this about Tatum Paxley's vid pack, which was easily, let's make it clear, that was AI generated. There is no way that wasn't. Excuse me. Either they used Grok, maybe they might have used Chat GPT. Don't know which one they would use. I think Grok might have been better. But that was quite interesting. The way they set it up, having the thorns coming out of her eyes, like weeds, and I forgot what they call it. But let me give it to you like this. The vines with the thorns on it was quite interesting. You don't normally see it like this. This was not in-house. This was AI. And in this situation, it looked pretty decent. But it scares me that instead of them focusing on making sure they do some good computer graphics and making sure they care about what they're producing, they're doing exactly what I knew they were going to do. As I told you guys many months and a year more ago, TKWWE doesn't care about you. They only care about... Remember Mr. McMahon in the ring going, this. That's all they care about. Money. They want your money with the least amount of effort. So you're going to see more and more AI being used in these vid packs. And I promise you, sooner or later, they're going to look really bad because there's no way, and I'm making it very clear as someone who is at least understanding of technology. Artificial intelligence is not intelligence. It's not intelligent. It doesn't have this. It's not even at the level of a 10-year-old. It's at a 4-year-old. Whatever you input it, it just spits it out at you. And it's going to be obvious that you're going to see more and more AI used in these computer graphics. They're going to think, well, we're going to make this really extravagant. We're going to use artificial intelligence like Grok or like Copilot or like ChatGPT to produce this type of stuff or anything else that's out there. And they're going to learn a very nasty lesson that sooner or later people are going to get sick of it because they want to see something that was handcrafted with passion. And there's no passion what they just did. It looks cool, but there's no passion behind it. It is just computer generated the way you programmed it. And they're going to learn very quickly soon that people will not like seeing a whole bunch of AI put in it because right now, if it's not done in the main roster, it's being tested here, guys. I'm telling you right now. This is one, if it has been done in the main roster, which I don't think it has, this is the first test of will people be receptive to AI in vid packs, where they normally would use just wrestlers, maybe they would go outside, they would film something. They're going to try and do everything on AI and stop doing outside segments. They want to stop it because it costs money. It's going to cost them money. And they want to make as little effort and as much money as possible. You're going to see it. If no one else has seen it yet, they're going to talk about it. If I'm the first one that's going to say it, guess what? I'm the first, if it isn't anybody else, who saw what happened with Tatum's vid pack. That is AI's computer generated, and that is the first true test. Can AI be used in pro wrestling? And they don't even have to have people go outside anymore or go somewhere to do some special vid pack. They're just going to have people program it and make them look stylish when there's no emotion behind it. Watch. Next, I'm going to say this when it comes to Lola Vice and Kiana Jordan. Seeing that her hand is hurt, Lola, and they're going to still have the match. This is a holding pattern for both. I think we will find out if they're going to the main roster after WrestleMania. They need to do something with these women. There's no room for them in the main roster yet. Excuse me. You're going to see these women in this feud for a while. And then after WrestleMania, which is a few months away, either they're going to make one of them disappear, which they may go to the main roster, or they're going to make one of them disappear, or both of them disappear, and they're going to either go to the main roster, or one or both will be released. Because you know what happens with WWE. They release people after WrestleMania. So if they're both not going to the main roster, or one of them is going, both of them are going to be released. Okay. Let's... If I'm forgetting anything, I'm sorry, guys. Let me give you like this. The final match. For me personally, are they pulling the trigger on this feud? I know you're going to say, wait a minute, don't you mean storyline? No. Feud. We have been waiting for maybe about 2-3 months easily for Zaria and Soruka to have such controversy between each other, such frustration that one of them, ergo Zaria, was going to turn on Sol and just beat the crap out of her. But they have not been willing to pull it before the end of the year. I guess they decided now this is the best time to start doing it. And this match is a tag match where whoever wins, whoever gets the pin on any of the others, is the one who's going to be the number one contender for JC James. And you saw the controversy between Zaria and Sol in the back. Sol wants to still be friends, but she made it very clear she's not going to just let Zaria win. She wants it, and then she says to Zaria, well, you, maybe if you win. He says, if. Come on. And this is not going to be about Sol backing up Zaria like what happened with the Ren Quarter Catch crew, where you have Ren Sinclair is willing to go back for Kendall Gray, where literally she got her ass beaten up, but Kendall didn't want to tag her, and that's near the end of the match. But guess what? Ren tagged her because as far as Ren is concerned, if either one of them wins, the Ren Quarter Catch crew wins no matter who gets it. Whoever gets the number one contendership or wins, Ren doesn't care. She cares about her faction. But in this situation where Zaria has literally gone to back for Sol, she has done everything she could to be in Sol's corner, to protect her, to try and even fight for her honor, for her friend's honor, willing to try and defend both her titles, the Speed and North American Championship, could not do it. In most cases, some people are going to say that Zaria is justified in her frustration because when you look at Sol, Sol has been complaining, been frustrated, has more than been happy to take whatever Zaria gives her, but when Zaria is doing it back, who is hoping that she would be there for her, not to get her to win, but at least be in her back, Sol's made it very clear, well, I'm still going to go after what I want. That's what I want. I want that. Maybe you might get it, if you get it. And most people would say that Zaria has the right to just be freaking pissed off. Because in this match, you saw they were not working together. Zaria really wanted Sol to just step back and let her try to get this. Now, of course, Zaria did have her chances before, and it is obvious that Sol's side, like, you had your shot. Well, it's not my fault. You had your chance to defend my titles. It's not my fault. You lost it. You dropped the ball. So now, in this one match, we see the true rage in the eyes of Zaria because and yes, you gotta admit, that Soul Snatcher in Kendall Gray was horrid. She timed it so badly. I think it was Kendall dove earlier than Sol could actually grab her, and not only did she miss her, she landed right on top of her shoulders and her head, and then pinned her. That was a bad botch. But in the end, she won it, and Zaria's just looking at her angry, and guess what? After it was over, we get a little JC James with everybody in the entourage of the Fatal Influence, and you could see from the picture the beginning of the end. Is this the beginning of the end? Because that's the best way to say it. I mean, is this the beginning of the end for Zaria and Sol Ruca? Because they're going to have their match. I believe it's Roadblock, the first pay-per-view, I think. I don't remember. Is it a pay-per-view? I can't remember. I'll find out. But Roadblock, I think, is where they're going to do it. Unless it's next week. So we will see if Zaria is literally going to whoop that ass so badly that she's not going to even be able to walk. I don't know. For me personally, it needs to happen. I've said this, and I said this earlier. I said there are 3 women who came in from outside that were international stars. You got Zaria, you got a little Stephanie Fakir, and you got Julia. 3 women who came in all almost at the same time, almost within 2 months of each other, near 3. And only one of them had character development. They pushed like crazy Julia, gave her championship. Then they pushed Stephanie. They gave her double championships. And they threw them both onto the main roster. Look what happened to them. What character development you got with Julia? None. She's with Kiani James. I believe that's Kiani James or Kalani. No, Kiani. She's with her. And she's done nothing. Then you look at Stephanie Fakir, who was pushed beyond recognition to become the new champ. And what has she done? She's gone up against Nikki Bella. Let me say that again. She's been in a feud with Nikki Bella. Now understand, Nikki Bella has been made into a legend. Not because of her in-ring work as a wrestler, not like a Lita, not like a Mickie James. The one that really needs to become the next one that should go into the Hall of Fame should be Victoria, because she's earned it herself, along with Trish Stratus, along with Lita, along with Mickie James, because she's been in there and she's one of the best they had. And she became Tara in TNA. She was so good. Still love the woman. But she was dealing with Nikki Bella, who is only known to be a twin, and good-looking twin. They were both hot. They both have nice bodies. She went and got a tit job. We know that. And at one point before she retired for a while, before she came back, she did improve in the ring to a certain extent. But she's only been known mainly for character and for her looks and being a twin. That is not meant to be insulting to her. They did give her storylines and she did okay in both, but that is what she was. And still is. Look what happened. Bree is back. They're going to team them together. They will have twin magic together sooner or later. But that's what we got. And Stephanie had to have a feud with her and now Raquel Rodriguez, who really isn't a very strong star in pro wrestling. She's not like a Becky Lynch. She's not like a Charlotte, and you could say a lot about Charlotte, but she has been pushed to the point where people see her as a star, which I don't think she's a great wrestler. I think she's a good one. But all the women, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, Asuka, they have not really gone in feuds with her. You've only given her who? Nikki Bella. So when you look at Zaria, going back to her, she's the only one that had real development of character working with Soruka. So the key here is, what will this culminate in? That's going to be the big question, at least for me. And I hope you enjoyed this NXT review. Peace.